Shalom, I'm Nama Rue. This is Rabbi David Rue. And we're actually at video 55 of this series about the Shmita year, reviewing the laws that apply to Jewish people living in the Jewish homeland according to the borders as identified by the Torah. And Rabbi Rue today has an amazing resource to share. After all of the sort of basic legal issues that we've covered about, what a Jew can do on the land with the land while it's resting, and what we can't do, and how we get food, and all of these things, he's compiled an incredible list. And we're going to make it available, and also you can check the video description. He has it in English and Hebrew. What can you tell us?
Well, when you look at the laws of Shabbos, it says avos mlachos arbim chaser achas, that in the Mishnah and Ayin Gimel Amud Aleph, it says the malachos, the primary prohibitions on Shabbos are 40 minus 1. That gives a list of them, and then it says these are the primary prohibited works on Shabbos, 40 minus 1, and then from there to the end of the Masechta, essentially, we have Mishnayos examining each one of these malachos and explaining all the toldos, all the secondary derivatives from them. There is no place where you can go in classic literature to get a complete list of the secondary prohibitions on Shmita. The Chazon Ish compiled the list, and almost everyone who's examined it since his time, or actually many of the people have discovered that there are a couple more, not many more, but there are some more as well. And so I want to examine them all, but first I want to give you the list. Just like the Mishnah in Shabbos says, let's go through the list of things that exist, that are prohibited, and then in the following shiurim, we will look at one or two of these things at a time. Some of them require more time to discuss, some less. So the Chazon Ish writes, "V'ine mצינו במשנה ובגמ kaf beit toldos asoros בשביעית." He says that we find in the Mishnah and the Gemara 22 secondary prohibitions on the Shmita year. Yud Zayin בפרקין. 17 of them found in our parak, meaning the Yerushalmי on Shvi'is, the second parak. And then he gives the list. And so the first one is mezbelin, which we would say today is fertilizing. מעדרין, hoeing. Miyablin, trimming blemishes off of trees. You get growths on the side of trees that don't actually help the tree in any way and take energy from the tree. As a sofer, I know that the Rambam says you take some of these blemishes that grow on oak trees and you boil them down. That's part of one of the ingredients made for ink, for writing Sefer Torah and tefillin, mezuzahs, and so on. Mefrikין, removing leaves from trees, just the leaves. Maavkין, covering exposed roots. מעשנין, lighting a fire under the tree to kill or drive away worms or insects. Messalkין, removing stones from the field. Mikarsamine, pruning trees, not pruning grapevines. Pruning grapevines is a different word. And that's an av malacha. That's one of the primary things that the Torah mentions is prohibited. But pruning everything else is then a rabbinic derivation. Mizardin, removing extra wet leaves. Mefaslin, trimming a tree to make the trunk go thicker so it can stand up to storms and things like that.
You cannot do that.
These are all things that you cannot do on the Shmita. Mizahamin, putting manure on scraped parts of trees where the bark has been scraped off or something like that to protect it so it can grow back and repair itself. It's like a bandage, so to speak. Kuching, wrapping a cloth around a tree that's being scorched by the sun. Kotmin, covering roots with dirt. Osin batin, covering seedlings so that they're not damaged by the weather, by strong weather. Mashkin, watering. Sachin, anointing figs. Menakvin, they used to make holes in figs as they were growing on the tree that would make them ripen better. So those are the 17 in our parak. Now, I have to say that it's not clear what all of these are. I have given the most commonly used definition of each of these words. However, there may be a debate, and as we discuss each one, we'll look at that. So in moed cotton, there are 4 more. Nikush, uprooting herbs, meaning pulling out the roots with them. Weeding, a type of weeding.
Wait, did you say moed cotton?
In moed cotton, it's another tractate of the Talmud, and there, at the very beginning, it primarily deals with the laws of hoeing, but in certain ways, the laws of hoeing are similar to the laws of Shmita.
Not to be confused with cotton, the plant.
Right.
What is cotton in this context? Moed cotton.
Small, katan.
Small intermediary time?
Like the small part of the festival. The intermediate days of the festival are not.
So some small things for the Shmita year?
No.
Oh.
The laws of Chol HaMoed are similar in certain ways to the laws of Shmita.
Gotcha.
And so therefore, some of them are discussed together.
Okay.
So again, I'm going back. So the 18th prohibited activity on Shmita, Nikush, is weeding, pulling up by the roots weeds. Kisuach, cutting the top of the weeds off. Mefaskin, supporting a tree, meaning if a tree's bending over and it can't support its own weight, the trunk isn't thick enough yet, or something like that. So we often put a stick next to it, a pole next to it, and attach them. So that is one of the prohibited. Kishkush, weeding under an olive tree. In Avodah Zarah, in Tractate Avodah Zarah, there is one, which we've actually already discussed, megazmin, and this is anointing a tree to try and keep bugs away. All right. In addition to that, there are others.
When you say anointing a tree, you mean like putting
oil on it, yeah.
Like from a plant.
Yeah.
Or oil, whatever.
I mean,
something that will drown out insects. You're not allowed to do that.
Not only with the insects, it might be fertilizing type of things and so on.
Okay.
There are many of these things if you go into a nursery today that you can find. Mm-hmm. So other things that the Chazon Ish does not list, I believe there are 5. One is Natiya. Natiya is planting a seedling. The Chazon Ish might not have included this because it could be considered essentially the same as the Av Malach of Zareh of planting a seed. This next one is Havracha, grafting. Harkava, I don't know a word for this in English, but this is if you take a vine or a strawberry or something like that, and it sends out runners, and you put a little dirt over the vine or the runner, it will then put down roots there. Right. And you'll have it being supported from 2 points so it can run longer.
Mint plants or lots of plants do that.
Right. But doing that actively would be
planting.
Is a rabbinic prohibition on Shmita.
Okay.
Dildul pri. This is removing some fruits. You have too many fruits growing on the tree. They can't all ripen properly. So I remove some of them so the others will be better. And the last one is ilan shenifsach. And that is a branch is partly broken off and it's bending down. And so I tie it up in such a way that it will rebind to the tree and continue growing successfully. I believe this is all of the things that are rabbinic prohibitions or Torah prohibitions that the rabbis define for us.
So there's 27.
So there are, 27 of them. And we will discuss them, one or more per video. It might conceivably be that one of these might take more than one video, but we will discuss each one of them in order so that we can understand how we can do or not do, when we can do, when we cannot do, and how to deal with the issues involved in all of these various things on the Shmita.
Maybe I'll bring a little cappuccino katan with me. Anyway, this was incredible to have this resource. Thank you for putting that together. And I think we'll try to figure out a format to make that available in addition to the video.
All right.
Okay.
Everyone should have a good day.
And a good Shmita year.